First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this would not be possible. Low nose boxing. What I want to talk about right now is a recent interview with Saubriel Matias. In his interview, he was asked about Devin Haney, and Saubriel Matias had stated that he is a bigger star than Devin Haney because he has the Latino fan base. And then he went off about Devin Haney's lack of pay-per-view numbers, right? Here's my take on it. Saubriel Matias has never headlined a pay-per-view. Saubriel Matias has never headlined a main event. So he's not really in a place to criticize Devin Haney's pay-per-view numbers, because pay-per-view numbers is what people normally go by as far as judging a fighter's star power. Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, I think it did about maybe 30-something thousand pay-per-view buys, 50,000, something like that. Either way, it flopped. But what I will say about Saubriel Matias, and what I will agree with, is that he does have the potential to be a bigger star than Devin Haney by a lot. By a lot. Devin Haney has a fan base. He does, right? But Saubriel Matias has a whole nation behind him. An island, by the way. But nevertheless, a nation. Because Latino fans, we support our fighters, right? Saubriel Matias is a Puerto Rican Latino. Puerto Rican. He's a dark-skinned Puerto Rican fighter. But Puerto Rico is an island that's been craving for a world champion for quite some time. I mean, we've had some world champions here and there since Miguel Cotto. We've even had Puerto Rican-American fighters like Danny Garcia, or most recently Shakur Stevenson, Puerto Rican-American, African-American, right? Because Puerto Ricans do support Shakur Stevenson as well. But Puerto Rico has not had an elite level Puerto Rican fighter from the island in quite some time since Miguel Cotto and maybe Ivan Calderon, right? Saubriel Matias does have potential to be a bigger star than Devin Haney. Puerto Rican fan base, Mexican fan base, and the United Kingdom fan base are the three most supportive fan bases in boxing. The United Kingdom, they support their fighters all the time. Whether it's a white fighter from the UK or a black fighter from the UK, they're going to support them. Puerto Ricans as well. Whether it's a light-skinned Puerto Rican or a dark-skinned black Puerto Rican like a Felix Trinidad, or Miguel Cotto, or tan-skinned Puerto Rican, we're going to support our fighters all the way. Win or lose, we don't throw our fighters in the garbage. So Saubriel Matias does have the potential to be a bigger star than Devin Haney. I personally feel that the promotional company that he's with, plus PBC, is doing him a disservice, right? Saubriel Matias, if he was on Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, he will be a bigger star already. If he was on Top Rank with Bob Arum, he will be a big star already. If he was with Don King Promotions, if Don King was at the top like they were back in the 90s, he will be a superstar right now. Because Don King, salute to Don King. Don King, whatever you want to say about him, he knows how to promote his fighters, regardless of their ethnicity. If he has an African-American fighter, he knows how to promote him. He's going to sit there and he's going to talk his talk. He's going to talk about black man in America this, black man in America that. He knows how to promote fighters. If he has a Mexican fighter like Chavez, he's going to go in there, Viva Mexico. He's going to put him on cards in Mexico, walk around with the Mexican flag. When he had Tito Trinidad, he was Puerto Rican damn near. Don King, everything that would come out of his mouth was Viva Puerto Rico. He had Trinidad fighting in Puerto Rico. He had Trinidad fighting in Madison Square Garden. He was running around with the Puerto Rican flag. Don King knows how to promote a fighter. Now, Saubriel Matias, if he were to have a fight in Madison Square Garden, main event, it would sell. Because Saubriel Matias has sort of a cult-like following, a cult-like fan base. He's one of my favorite fighters as well, by the way. And not only does Saubriel Matias has a Puerto Rican fan base, he has a Mexican fan base, because Saubriel Matias trains in Mexico. And Saubriel Matias also has a black African-American fan base as well. Because they identify with Saubriel Matias. They look at him as a black fighter, even though he's Puerto Rican, but his skin is black. So they support Saubriel Matias. Saubriel Matias is learning how to talk English right now. He's trash talking. He recently was trash talking about T.O., about Devin Haney, about Ryan Garcia, Rolly. At the time when his name was Javante Davis, Abdul Wahid, Saubriel Matias is learning how to talk heavy. He got the star power. He got the style. He's an action fighter. Put him in with the right guy in New York City, he's a bona fide star, right? And I have friends in my neighborhood that are casual fans, and they even know who Saubriel Matias is. Like one of my boys, he was telling me, yo, Saubriel, that guy Saubriel, I heard he's no joke. He caught a body in the ring. And once again, I'm not glorifying that horrific event. Boxing is a brutal sport. Rest in peace to that fighter, and my condolences to the family of that fighter that lost his life against Saubriel Matias. But the point I'm trying to make is people know who Saubriel Matias is. This is not some fighter coming out of a country where people don't know nothing about those fighters. They don't talk English. Like, example, if he was from like Africa, he wouldn't be known. And there's been a lot of great African fighters. Shout out to Azuma Nelson. Shout out to Ike Cortez, right? Cornelius Bozar Edwards. But those guys weren't big stars, right? Saubriel Matias can be a big star even without talking English, but he's learning how to talk English. Now, Devin Haney for a Regis Prograis on pay-per-view in the flop. I guarantee you, if Saubriel Matias were to fight Gary Antoine Russell, and Gary Antoine Russell is not even a big name fighter, but he's developing somewhat of a cult-like following himself, especially amongst the African-American fan base. He has a lot of backing. A lot of people are talking about Gary Antoine Russell. I guarantee you right now, Saubriel Matias versus Gary Antoine Russell in Madison Square Garden would do bigger numbers than Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. And I stand on that. So, Saubriel Matias, you know, he was kind of out of pocket, criticizing Devin Haney's numbers, because Saubriel hasn't done any numbers. He hasn't been a main event yet. But he is a bigger star than Devin Haney's in him. He just needs to be marketed and promoted properly. Put him in New York City. Put him in with somebody like a Gary Antoine Russell. Put him in there with a Richardson Hitchens. Let him get that New York appeal, that New York fan base, that Puerto Rican American fan base to back his play, along with the African Americans that's going to come in to support him as well in New York City. And then next year, 2025, Madison Square Garden, Saubriel Matias versus Teofimo Lopez, or Devin Haney, or Abdul Wahid. Saubriel Matias has the potential to be one of the faces of boxing. Just like in the 90s, right? Oscar De La Hoya was the face of boxing, but you also had supporting acts such as Felix Trinidad, who was doing pay-per-view numbers. Not as much as Oscar De La Hoya, but he was right behind him. When Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing, Manny Pacquiao was doing good pay-per-views, right? Miguel Cotto was doing good pay-per-views, right? This generation, this era, we got Canelo Alvarez and we got Abdul Tank Davis Wahid, who's doing pay-per-views. Saubriel Matias could be that third one. He just needs to be promoted properly. He needs the right fight. I'm kind of glad that he's not getting the Teofimo Lopez fight right away, because that's a dangerous fight. Teofimo Lopez might just beat Saubriel Matias and put a stop or put a momentary derail to what they're trying to do with him. It's good to build him up now. Put him in there with Rolly. Put him in there with Barossa. Put him in there with Gary Antoine Russell. I guarantee you, Saubriel Matias is a bigger star than Devin Haney if marketed properly, and it doesn't even take that much work. With that being said, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing. I'm out.